you know the scene. You're on your living room floor, absolutely surrounded by cardboard. You've got this tiny little Allen key, and you're trying to make sense of instructions that look like some kind of ancient puzzle. But then, hours later, you stand back, you look at this slightly wobbly but complete bookcase, and you just feel this huge, almost irrational sense of pride. Well, today we're going to dig into exactly why that is.
It's a feeling we've all had, right? That amazing mix of relief and pure accomplishment. See, you didn't just buy a chair, you created it. You wrestled with all those little dowels and screws, and you came out on top. That chair isn't just a piece of furniture anymore, it's a trophy. It's your trophy.
But here's the really interesting part. That feeling, that connection you have to what you've built, it isn't just some weird quirk you have. Nope, it's actually a well-documented psychological phenomenon. It's a genuine bias in how our brains work, and it even has a name. I mean, really think about it. Have you ever found yourself defending your slightly crooked bookshelf? Or maybe you've baked a cake from a box mix and sworn it tasted way better than one from a fancy bakery. If you're nodding along, then you've already felt this effect firsthand.
Okay, so let's put a formal name to this feeling. What is this cognitive bias really all about? And why does putting in a little bit of work make us fall in love with the result?
It's called the IKEA Effect. And yeah, it's named after the company that has millions of us building our own furniture. The idea is actually super simple. The effort we pour into making something makes us value it way more than if we just bought it pre-made. And listen, this isn't just a hunch. We've got the data to prove it. A huge study back in 2011 found that people were willing to pay a whopping 63% more for furniture they put together themselves, compared to the exact same item that was already assembled. So yeah, our own labor really does make us love our stuff a lot more. And we have these three researchers to thank for giving this feeling a name. Their work was what took this common experience out of the world of just, anecdotes and put it squarely in the realm of real behavioral science. So how in the world do you actually measure a feeling like this? How did these researchers prove that the IKEA effect was a real thing and not just something we were all imagining? Well, they had to get pretty creative, moving from furniture to something a little more delicate. To test their theory, they ran these brilliant experiments. They had one group of people build simple IKEA storage boxes. They had another group fold origami cranes, and a third group assembled Lego sets. And after all that work, they asked a very simple question. So, how much do you think it's worth?
The origami test results were just fascinating. The people who folded their own little paper creations, which, let's be honest, were probably a bit clumsy, they valued them about 5 times more than a group of impartial observers did. They thought their amateur work was worth almost as much as origami made by actual experts. But, and this is a really important but, there's a catch. This effect only works if you actually finish the job. In the experiments, if people failed to build their creation, or if they built it and then had to take it apart again, poof, the IKEA effect completely disappeared. Success, it turns out, is the secret ingredient.
So this all leads to the big question, right? Why? Why does our brain do this? What is going on psychologically that makes us fall head over heels for the things we make ourselves?
Well, it really boils down to a few basic human needs. When we successfully finish something, it makes us feel competent, like we're good at things. It's a form of self-expression. That bookcase is a reflection of our effort. And, of course, there's a social aspect to it too. That little bit of satisfaction we get from showing off what we've made.
And this idea connects perfectly to the legendary psychologist Albert Bandura. He talked about self-efficacy, which is just our belief in our own ability to get things done. The IKEA effect really is just a perfect modern example of this deep-seated human need to feel capable and in control of our little corner of the world.
Now, this isn't just about furniture and craft projects. Seriously, once you know what to look for, you start seeing the IKEA effect absolutely everywhere. It pops up in our hobbies, in our homes, and even in our finances. I mean, think about Build-A-Bear. Their whole business is built on the IKEA effect. It's why brilliant programmers will spend countless hours contributing to open-source software for free. In the workplace, it can show up as not invented here syndrome, where a manager just automatically thinks their team's ideas are better. And it's also a close cousin of the sunk cost fallacy. Our attachment to the effort we've already put in makes it so hard to abandon a project, even when we know it's failing. This quote from the writer Tyler Trevoren just nails it. He was looking at a house for sale that was priced way too high. And why? Because the owner had built it herself. To her,
All her custom touches and hard work added huge value. She saw a masterpiece, but to a buyer, they just saw some weird paint colors.
And here's where it gets really surprising. Investing. One study looked at how people behaved after a big market crash. Get this, 31% of investors who had a standard portfolio created by an advisor, they panic sold. But for the investors who had a hand in building their own self-assembled portfolio, only 10% sold. The effort they put in created this sense of ownership that made them way more committed and less likely to panic.
At the end of the day, the IKEA effect is a really powerful force. It shapes how we value our homes, our ideas, and yeah, even our slightly wobbly bookcases. It's a great reminder that the effort we invest does more than just build an object. It builds a real emotional connection. So, the next time you finish a project, enjoy that feeling of pride. But then maybe ask yourself this question. The answer might just surprise you.